Good afternoon and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new episode of Today's Youth. And we're delighted to be joined here live at the studio today by Sherif. She's a graduate of Wayne State University and she's specialized in social media marketing. Thank you very much for joining us, Aya.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Aya, to start with, I would like you to tell me, why did you choose social media marketing in specific as your career, and why didn't you choose the traditional media, and which is more common, for example, here in Egypt?
Absolutely. Well, growing up, I just loved media in general. I always knew I wanted to be a part of that field. And I really did explore all the different parts, whether that was PR or traditional marketing or advertisement. But when it came down to it, as I was getting to university, social media was really having a boom and the industry was being created. And I felt like I wanted to jump into this industry and see where it could take me.
Mm-hmm. How do you see the future of social media marketing and digital marketing as opposed to the traditional marketing?
You know, I think both are not going away anytime soon. TV is here to stay. It's proven that even with the inclusion of streaming and things like that, I really think that they will work hand in hand in the future, including kind of how we're adapting to artificial intelligence and how we're moving beyond. I really do think social media and digital marketing and traditional marketing will continue to work together hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. Well, how effective do you think is incorporating two together, social media marketing and the traditional marketing?
Absolutely. So
having both together.
It depends on your goal. I think with traditional marketing, you're reaching a very big audience and you're reaching, everyone at the same time. Whereas with social media, you can be very targeted, you can be very specific, you can build a community, and it's two ways. So you're not just talking to people, but they're talking back to you. And I think that makes a big difference, and that's why people love to be on social media and interact with their favorite people and brands and celebrities.
Right. Well, maybe as you've just said, also social media marketing is booming everywhere. I mean, in Egypt and around the world. And now, how do you see the main challenges facing social media marketing now?
Oh, social media marketing, there's so much that's going on with it. I think as the influencer market matures, there's conflict there. As we incorporate more artificial intelligence, as we see the evolution of Web3 and the meta universe, there's definitely going to be challenges there. Of course, there's also the challenge with kids being on social media and being exposed to lots of different things, perhaps at a too young of an age. But there's also a very bright side to social media where you have access to just a world of information all the time.
What if you have to choose between social media marketing or digital marketing and the traditional media marketing? I mean, if you have a certain budget, a limited budget, which one would you choose?
I would definitely say social media there. You can get started on social media for free and you can continue on it for very low amounts. But of course, traditional media, if you can get on there for the limited budget, it is the better.
Right. You also lived all your life in the US. You grew up your childhood years and teenage, I think, right?
Yes, so I lived for a while.
You went to school and university over there?
Yes, I lived for a while in the United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi, and then we moved to the United States, and I did do my high school years and my university years in the States.
Right. Then you decided to come back to live in Egypt. Now, how did you adapt to the social and the cultural differences between here, the UAE, and the US?
It's always a challenge, but that's why I believe in having resilience and being open to different perspectives, different experiences, and you really have to go and put yourself out there, introduce yourself to people, meet others, get to know how they think, what the culture is like. Of course, it was very scary at first for me to come back to Egypt, but it is my home and I love being here.
Right. Also, during your university years, you were involved in several activities and acting, short movies, and so on. Tell me more about your activities over there.
Oh man, I did so many things. Like this was part of me being very active and going out there and trying to get involved in the community. I entered short film competitions, as you said. I've always had a very strong passion for media. I acted, I did some plays, I did a couple short movies as in front of the camera as well for just friends and doing their graduation projects. And that really just like solidified my path into media. But I also did a lot of other things. I played basketball, I volunteered. You know, it's really important to have a full background, I believe.
Right. Well, tell me, how did your studies, your university years, your studies of social media marketing and your studies in the US, how did it help you in achieving your career goals so far?
You know, I think that social media is growing so quickly, and it really started in the US. So while in my university, they didn't teach me the things that I currently use in social media, but they taught me how to think about it, how to approach the strategy of thinking about social media. And you know, they are the originators of this, and they understand the algorithms and they understand how people think. There's a lot of psychology that went on behind it. And I think that was really the success of being in social media. You have to understand who the person is that you're talking to.
Right. Well, talking about also females and women, and you told me that you're so happy that women has achieved many of her rights, not only in Egypt. I mean, we're talking about Egypt, around the world. What would you tell me about females and achieving women's rights so far?
Wow, I think Egypt has come such a long way. I'm so proud to be in this country and be a female in this country now. There's such a huge space for female entrepreneurs, for females to even just grow within their careers. There's so many female-oriented university groups and extracurricular groups. So really just so proud of how far we've come.
What do you think are the main challenges that are still facing women? Not in Egypt. I'm talking in general and about worldwide.
Worldwide, I think we're still battling against stigmas. We're still always, you know, battling between trying to be a career woman and trying to be a mother and trying to be so many different things, taking care of the household. And we really are amazing beings that we're able to handle all of this at once, but it's definitely a continuous challenge.
Right. Well, Aya, we're going to go to a short break and we'll be right back to talk more about women empowerment and female empowerment in Egypt.
من أول يوم فتحنا علينا في الدنيا وجينا بنلون ونشخبط بإيدينا وبنرسم. يعني الإبداع كان مولود فينا لحظة ما وعينا، لو شفنا وبصينا حوالينا نتعلم. يلا سيب بصمتك، يلا يلا سيب لمستك، يلا شوف الكون سبحان من حلا. يلا سيب بصمتك، يلا يلا سيب لمستك، يلا شوف الكون سبحان من حلا. ساعات تناديله، وفي أجمل صورة نخليها من خوفنا عليها، ودي همة واحد واحد فينا وضميره. يلا سيب بصمتك، يلا يلا سيب لمستك، يلا شوف الكون سبحان من حلا. يلا سيب بصمتك، يلا يلا سيب لمستك، يلا شوف الكون سبحان من حلا. يلا سيب بصمتك، يلا يلا سيب لمستك، يلا شوف الكون.
Welcome back, and we were talking before the break about the females and the women rights and the challenges facing women so far, not only in Egypt, we're talking also around the world. And with me, Aya Sherif, she will tell me how do you see females in Egypt and especially youth, how far did they achieve what they wanted?
You know, I think that the youth Egyptian female now knows what she wants. She's very career driven. She's very much about what path can I take in my life to be successful on my own. And I think it can be, you know, a benefit and a con at the same time. But it's good because we're focusing now on careers and we're developing ourselves. But perhaps it's a concern when it comes to building a house or a family or things like that. But I also think that, you know, it's good for females to be independent and career driven and to have a separate family life as well. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Right. As a career-driven woman, now, how far do you think you will be able to manage your time between your personal life as a mom, as a career woman at the same time? Will it be okay with you? I mean, will it be easy?
Well, I'm engaged now, and so I will find out soon. I've had a lot of great role models in my life, and I've seen them build careers and also be able to hold a household together. And so I'm hoping that I can be just like my mother or my mother-in-law or, you know, many people in my life.
And who's your role model?
I think my parents, my mom and my dad are both role models. I'm very proud of them, and they are a testament to never giving up and always, you know, having that youthful spirit. They're in their 50s now and they're still taking courses and hanging out with their friends and having a very rich and social life.
Well, that's great. Talking about your plans, your dreams, short-term and long-term plans.
Oh, there are so many things. I want to develop in social media. Now we're coming into this age of artificial intelligence and Web3, and there's so much to learn in this space still that I think over the next few years that is what I want to focus on.
Right. Talking about social intelligence and artificial intelligence in specific and Web3 and all the new innovations in this field, what would you like to tell us? Why are people fearing this?
Well, with any big change socially, there comes the fear. People are afraid of losing positions to AI or afraid that everything will become, automatic and that a lot of the careers will be gone. But I don't believe that's true. With AI, it's only as good as the people who can use the AI. And it also doesn't take away from human creativity, human ability to create and envision and storyboard and all of these things that are specific to my field. But I understand the fear because it's new. But I think that there's so much advancement that we cannot even imagine yet where it's going to go.
Right. Well, I am talking about your role models as your parents. Now, where do you see yourself 10 years from now? You're starting now as a CEO of a marketing company, right?
Yes.
A private company. Now, what are your goals for the future?
Well, to grow the company, you know, I think I came back to Egypt to learn about the media field here, and I'm amazed at how big and vast it is. So growing the company here, I think, will be a big learning opportunity. I want to, of course, build a life, build a family with my fiance currently. And
He's also
yeah.
in the social media?
No, he is a
Marketing?
doctor.
I mean, he's it's totally different.
Totally different field.
Right. Okay, tell me about the challenges as starting your career as a CEO in marketing, and of course you're meeting a lot of challenges. How do you overcome obstacles, and tell the youth about persistence and perseverance in achieving your goals?
Yes, absolutely. There's so many obstacles. I would say it's been mainly just dealing with people. There's a wide variety of people. Some are good, some are bad, and sometimes you cannot tell the difference. There's a challenge of proving yourself in the market that is very oversaturated. There's a challenge of hiring and firing and building a brand and all of these things. But you know, it all comes step by step. I think a lot of youth think that older people or that people who have companies or are big names know what they're doing. To be honest, we all don't know what we're doing. We're figuring out as we go. I think that the future belongs to those who are willing to take risks and go out of their way to try different things and be uncomfortable.
Right. Who's supporting you? I mean, supporting you in this career, having your own private company. I mean, moral support.
Yes, the moral support comes definitely from my family and from my very dear friends and my fiance and his family as well.
Right. Talking about social gatherings and social intelligence and having a cultural life, of course, beside having a career, I mean, you have to have both in parallel.
Yes.
How do you see the significance of this kind of social life? Especially that here in Egypt, we've seen a lot of social gatherings. We've seen, excuse me, we've seen the conferences, the youth conferences taking place here in Egypt, a lot of youth conferences, gathering youth from around the world here in Egypt. How do you see the significance and impact of this on youth?
Well, I think that we're being exposed to so many different things now, whether through things like the World Youth Forum, which is an amazing summit, as well as lots of summits for entrepreneurships, or even just having people come, and the eye of the world internationally is on Egypt now. There's a budding ecosystem for the youth to really come about, and what they're learning is that the youth here in Egypt have a long way to go, and they have great exposure to the world that is going to open up their perspective and allow them to bring things that we had not previously thought of into the country and make it that much better.
Right, Aya, we're going to go to a short break and we'll be right back to talk more about youth empowerment. Welcome back, and still with my guest here at the studio, Aya Sherif. Aya, talking about youth empowerment, and Egypt here and the Egyptian leadership is actually giving great attention to the youth. How do you see youth empowerment and its impact on the Egyptian youth?
Well, the youth is our future, right? So I think that it's so important to invest into the youth now, because they are going to build things we cannot imagine for the future of the country. I think Egypt is going down the right path. You know, it's amazing all the investments and support that is going now to youth, especially, like I said, things for events like the World Youth Forum. So I think it's really building an incredible tomorrow that we will all be proud of to be Egyptians for.
There's also, in addition to the World Youth Forum and the youth conferences that were taking place here in Egypt, there was also the Egyptian Youth Leadership Program, which was actually very, very effective in creating a new generation of leaders. Were you ever engaged, or were you ever exposed to this program?
I have not been exposed to the program, but that sounds incredible. And I'm really not surprised that there's programs like that. I know that every day, every week, I find out more information of things and resources that are becoming available to youth. So this is incredible to hear.
Right. So now, what's the role of youth towards their country? I mean, if your country is giving you a lot, now what's your role, in your opinion?
You know, I think our role as Egyptians, whether abroad or in Egypt, is to invest and make a country something that we're very proud of. You know, a lot of people went abroad to study or move or for any reasons. And I think that we're really responsible to bring that information that we got from abroad and bring the innovation here into Egypt. You know, I've gone abroad, I've studied, and you know, it's good to see other cultures and see other perspectives, but at the end this is our home and we need to be proud of it and to make it into something amazing.
Right, what would you like to tell youth from your place here? A message from you to
A
the
message is be resilient, keep persevering, because you will always win if you keep pushing forward and taking risks. And to be proud of the country that you're in and really give it everything you have.
Do you think that the challenges facing youth in Egypt and around the world are the same?
I think to a degree, we are all struggling with the same thing. Now there's such a huge level of entrepreneurship in the world, a huge level of oversaturation in almost every field, every career. And so we're all struggling to make ourselves known, have ourselves be seen, and just, you know, gain traction. Of course, with the challenges of building a life and a career and everything, we're all facing that growing up problem, you know, of trying to become adults and take care of everything.
What are the most important common challenges, in your opinion, facing youth in Egypt and around the world?
Oh, I think, you know, as I said, like coming up in a career that is so oversaturated. You know, I see all my friends in all the different fields, whether it's engineering or doctors or media or anything. There's a lot of competition out there and a lot of ways they're trying to prove themselves and be seen and make it big. And that, I think, is a universal problem right now. Right.
Well, I would like to thank you very much, Aya Sherif. Thank you for coming, and thank you for your insight, and all the best of luck.
Thank you so much for having me.
Dear viewers, that brings us to the end of this edition of today's Youth. Many thanks for watching, and don't forget to join us next week, same time. Till then, goodbye.